Hello, I'm John Laspina, the Carnivore Teacher Alpha, and this is my Monday Night Live, second one I've done. And today's topic is, as you can see over here, gotta always point the opposite direction here, plastics. We're going to talk about how to live in this world that is just full of plastic, because we don't want plastic in our body, and it's hard to keep it out of our body when it literally is everywhere. It really is. Before I get started, I want to share with you that in the comments, you can post your questions, your comments. I hope you will. I encourage you, because that's the whole point of this show. It's driven by what you type, what you write. I'm going to address them, put them on the screen, and hopefully that will take us to the hour of discussion about plastics. Before we get to any questions or comments, I have some things that I did some research. I made a video that I put out a few days ago, maybe it was a week ago, about plastics in our environment, and I figured I'd do a live on it. So I want to read some of my information, and then we'll get to the comments, and I'll call out your names, and if you have any questions or things that you'd like to say. So here's my my research on plastic. Plastic is made from either oil or natural gas that we get from the ground. There's number one, there's extraction. Crude oil or natural gas is taken from the ground. Then there's refining. It's heated and separated into parts at the refinery. One part is called naphtha, or ethane from gas, and it is used to make plastics. As you know, they use other parts to make gasoline and other fuels and lubrications. Then number three is cracking. These materials are broken into smaller molecules like ethylene and propylene. Then the fourth thing they do is they do polymerization. Those small molecules are chemically linked into long chains called polymers, and that's what the plastic becomes. It's actually called plastic at that point. Number five, they have additives. They add color, flexibility, chemical strength, fire for resistance are added. And then the sixth thing is the shaping. The plastic is melted and molded into bottles and containers and fibers or parts. So in simple terms, fossil fuels turn them into small molecules, then long chains, and then shaped into products. Now, plastics were never meant to be inside the human body. They were designed for convenience, for durability, and low cost, not for biological compatibility, that's for sure. The problem isn't just plastic as a solid object. The real issue is what plastics leach, especially when they're heated, scratched, or in contact with food or liquid. Many plastics release chemicals called endocrine disruptors. Now, that means that they interfere with the body's hormone signaling. We have tons of hormones, 77 hormones to be exact. One major group is called bisphenols, like BPA stands for bisphenol A. And now its replacements, BPS and BPF. They were marketed as safer, but biologically they behave very similar to BPAs. Now, bisphenols can mimic estrogen in the body. They call them phytoestrogens. They bind to estrogen receptors and send false hormonal signals, signals the body did not earn or request. Then there are phthalates or phthalates. I think it's pronounced phthalates, another class of plastic chemicals. These are commonly used to make plastics flexible. They're strongly linked to testosterone suppression, fertility issues, and disrupted environment. So there's bisphenols and there's phthalates. Plastics also contain or interact with phytoestrogen-like compounds. Plant-derived estrogen mimics that already strain hormone balance when they come from food. Now you add on top of them packaging and exposure. Here's the key issue. Your body works on precise hormonal signaling. Tiny amounts do matter. Hormones operate in parts per trillion, not grams or calories. So when plastics continuously drip estrogen-like signals into the system, the body doesn't just ignore them. This can affect our metabolism, our thyroid signaling, insulin sensitivity, fertility, fat storage, mood, and energy. And the exposure isn't occasional anymore, it's chronic because plastics are in food packaging, water bottles, coffee lids, non-stick cookware, personal care products, household dust. Household dust. That's pretty scary. Once inside our body, many of these compounds are fat soluble, meaning they accumulate rather than wash straight out. They're not water soluble. The issue isn't panic. The issue is unnecessary exposure. Humans lived for millennia without plastics since the time, whether you believe in creation or evolution, we never had plastic until very recently in human history. Our detox systems evolved for natural compounds, not constant systemic hormonal mimics. So the goal is not perfection. The goal is reduction, especially where plastics touch heat, food, liquids, skin. Less plastic means less hormonal noise. Less noise means cleaner biological signaling. And clearer signaling is where health actually begins. So with that, let's check out our comments. And then I did a Rick from Miami, and I brought a ton of things to show. It's like show and tell with the Carnivore Teacher Alpha. So when we get to that, I'll show you some of the things I've replaced my plastic with. And maybe you can tell me too in the comments. All right. Fuzzy Booger was the first one on here before we even went live. And he's asking, what about toothbrushes? So we'll start with that one. Toothbrush bristles are plastic. They are. There's no getting around that. And when you are, brushing your teeth like crazy, the first time you use them till maybe the 10th time you're using them, whether they're the Oral-B, which is the kind I use, it's electric, or if it's a regular toothbrush, it's probably not putting off too many micro or nanoplastics, right? But when they get a little old, they shed plastics like crazy, right into your gums, right onto, and then whether you're swallowing them or spitting them out, they get absorbed. So I have not done this step yet because I love my Oral-B, and Oral-B does not make a non-plastic tip with the plastic bristle, non-plastic bristle. So I don't know what to do there except go back to a regular toothbrush. And they use bamboo fibers. They use natural fibers. And unfortunately, with the natural fibers, horsehair, like they used to way back in the 17 and 1800s, we used all natural fibers. They wear. You'd have to replace them, and they cost more, and they're harder to get nowadays because let's face it, everything is plastic. So I don't know if that addressed the issue. Fuzzy Booger. Wish I knew your real name. I hate to call you Booger, but. All right, let's see. Mr. Senek, Oklahoma, I guess it is, or OK, says hi to everybody. Here's my buddy, JV. Hello, John, here from Michigan. Must be cold up there. Hey, I'm in Boca Raton, Florida. I'm wearing my cotton short sleeve shirt. It was 85 degrees today and humid. I mean, it was ridiculous. I went out and I felt like July, which is really weird for this time of year for us in Florida. Normally our high is 72, 74, gorgeous, right? It was pretty hot and sticky, whereas the rest of the country, nasty. I'm reading everybody's emails and posts, my brother, my family, everybody's freezing and shoveling, and the ice, it's pretty bad. So I know in Michigan, it must be like that. Let's see. Josephine Cowley, how you doing? This is Sheila from St. Louis. St. Louis. Hey, I've never been there. I'd like to go there, see the arch and stuff. Gateway to the West. All right, we've got Thomas Boyd is saying hi from Texas. How you doing, Thomas? Thank you for coming on. JV again. Let's see. There it is. I'd say drinking out of plastic bottle would be 10 times worse than the brush. I agree. And one of the things I want to share with you is my water bottle. Okay, this is my water bottle. I kind of had it made with my name on it, but it is, I'll unscrew it. It's all stainless steel on the inside. I add ice from my reverse osmosis water filtration system, ice line, and I add that water. Oops, it's full. And I add my own Redmond Relight electrolytes in there. So I'm always drinking electrolyte water from, even though this is plastic, look at this, plastic touching my lips. Everything's in stainless steel. And the thing about plastic, if it's cold, it's much, much, much safer than if it's touching something warm. But yeah, even my lips touch the plastic on top of that stainless steel water bottle. But I know a lot of people, they have their refrigerator is stocked with water bottles. And when guests come over, they hand them a water bottle. Like, I'd rather drink right out of the faucet. Okay, let's see what we have here. JV says, wow, I'm sitting by wood stove. Oh, our air conditioning is on. My windows have been closed for 3 days and the air is on. That's how warm it is down here and humid. Now, tomorrow here in Boca, we're going down. Our high is about 60. So we get to open the windows, which is always exciting to get the air out the house. I love it down here. I moved here in 2001 to escape the Maryland and Pennsylvania winters because we had what you guys all have now. I hated it. I couldn't stand it. My lips would crack. My fingers would crack. I couldn't get warm. So I do love Florida. Don't like the hurricanes, but we had none last summer. That was kind of cool. Mr. S.A. in OK. I'm Mr. Stephen A. in Oklahoma. All right, now I know how to call you. Mr. Stephen, Oklahoma. You were on last week, I believe, or somebody from Oklahoma was. JV says, I guess, studies, yeah, on sauna to detox plastic. I don't know. I'll have to look into that to see if sweating it out gets the plastics out. I don't know. I think they're kind of fat soluble. Well, not fat soluble, but I think they get stored differently. But I don't know the answer to that. Good question. All right, retired Rick, how's it going, my friend? And we've got Thomas Boyd. Oh, mid-30s. I think that's a warm spell for most of the country, right? I've been looking at people and hearing wind chill factors in the. All right, let's see what we have here. Everything is made with Rick, you know, you're so right. If you really stop and look and realize, look at all this stuff in my house and in the world that's plastic, right? And just go back 100 years. No, not even 100 years. Go back before Bakelite. Remember Bakelite? Bakelite, 1940s, the old telephone, that kind of, the old radios. They were made out of the very first plastic polymers, and that was called Bakelite. People say Bakelite. And before that, I would say the 1920s, 10s, the late 1800s, there was no plastic. There was no plastic anywhere in the world. We didn't have plastic. Nothing was made of plastic. And now you look around us and everything, oh my gosh, the curtains, the carpet fibers, the furniture, the beds, so many things that, you know, the clothing, we're going to talk about polyester and nylon and all the stuff in clothes that come from oil, petroleum. It's basically plastic. You can't get away from it. That's for sure. All right, let's see. Everybody's saying hi to each other. See this great community. Everybody's friendly. JV says, what scares me is K-cups in the coffee machines. I use French press for loose leaf tea. I gave up coffee. Tea bags are bleached and have plastics. I brought some things to show you. So for drinking coffee, if you do the Keurig machine, buy one of these things, okay? This is made out of stainless steel. The pink top that you see is not plastic. It's, what do they call that? Not neoprene, but it's that other thing that's instead of plastic. I'm drawing a blank. Somebody help me. And that just seals the top. the hot water touches the metal, it's perforated, and you put your coffee grounds in this, close the lid, put it in the K-cup. It fits perfectly, right? Like the little puzzle piece. And you've just improved your life by getting rid of the plastics, not only the plastic in the Keurig, in the K-cup, but the aluminum. Even though they sell some of them without the aluminum now, that's what you can do. I brought a French press. They make them out of glass. They make them out of stainless steel. Okay, this is 100% stainless steel. Everything is stainless steel. This part that comes off is stainless steel. The screen is stainless steel. Everything. So what you do, if you're a coffee drinker, you grind your coffee beans a little more coarse because of the mesh. You can also put a filter on there. You put the grounds in there. You heat up hot water somewhere else to 120 or higher. You pour it in there, and you wait 4 minutes for it to steep. And then you press and you pour your French press coffee. All right. No plastics involved. If you're still drinking coffee, those are 2 ways that you can easily improve your life by getting rid of plastics that way. So I'm glad you brought that up, JV, because I was going to talk about that. Detox ideas are greatly needed. All right. So I don't know about detox. I can talk about avoidance. Detox, I think you just have to stop getting the plastics in your body as much as you can, and your body will detox on its own. I don't know if there's a way to get the plastics out. I do have to research that. Silicone, thank you. That's what it is. It's a silicone lid, which is not perfect, but it's better. It doesn't have phthalates. It doesn't have bisphenols. Thank you, Mr. Steven. Was it Steven? Yeah, I think it was. Okay, now we have, sorry on my spelling, being not Brett's. All right, no problem. Not a problem. Rick says, my coffee pot is all plastic except for the pot. All right, so do some research online, see if you can find a coffee maker that has metal parts. They do sell those. I don't know if the Keurigs do. There's also the tubing after the water's heated and it pushes it through. What is the plastic tubing made of? Usually that's made of PEX, which does not release bisphenols or phthalates. I looked that up because my house was built in 1995. I don't have copper piping, but I also don't have PVC, which is polyvinyl chloride. I have PEX piping, and they're different colors for hot and cold and everything. And I looked it up, and it said that basically once it's installed, it can release some residue from plastics into the water, but within, I don't know, you have to run it. This is my house. What is it, 2026 now? So supposedly my PEX tubing is not perfect, but it's not releasing. What can you do? I mean, you have to drink water. I don't have a well. This whole discussion tonight is not about being perfect. We're talking about what steps can we take to minimize the plastic intake in our body. If we don't think about it, we're probably getting too much. But if you think about it, if you're just a little conscious, this is about being conscious, being woke, use that word properly, then you can take control over the things you can take control of, like how you make your coffee, right? So we're going to talk about some more of those things. How do we know if we get too much plastic in our body? What effects do we feel? I don't know the answer to that question, but I do know that if you have an enormous amount, plastics being phytoestrogenic, it's going to mess up the hormone system, and you may have lower testosterone. You may have, I can't say this for sure, but you may be gynecomastia, right? Something having to do with estrogen. Men are not supposed to have a lot of estrogen. We're supposed to have a microscopic amount of estrogen in our body. We do have it. We are not supposed to have a lot of estrogen. Women have a lot of estrogen, and they have a little bit of testosterone. So when we are getting too much plastic, as well as phytoestrogenic plants like soy and so many other plants out there, we're putting estrogen-like compounds in our body, and our body sees it as and starts acting like it's estrogen, and then it throws off all the other hormones. It's not just testosterone and estrogen. It's your thyroid hormone. It's all the other hormones. Everything is in a very delicate balance when we eat properly and we live in the world and nature properly. So, what can you do with the plastics? That's what we're talking about. We're going to minimize. So before I go back to the comments, I'm going to read a few more things that I prepared for you. All right. Some of the biggest things that you can do, the biggest payoffs in switching from plastic to something that's not plastic is in the kitchen. Okay. So if you use Tupperware, all right, switch. I can't see myself when I'm doing this. Hold on. There we go. Switch to plastic. I went to Walmart. Okay. I bought all different sizes of glass bowls. They come with plastic lids, which is nice, but don't let the food touch the lid. And you, instead of storing things and heating them up in the microwave, or if you heat it up on the stove or in the oven, you heat it up in glass, Pyrex glass. Okay. You do not heat anything up in plastic. That's the biggest no ever, is heating food in plastic. I still keep my Tupperware. I still use it to store things, but not hot food. I don't even put cold food in it anymore, to be honest with you. You can, but I don't. And it's suggested that you wash your Tupperware by hand in the sink in cold to warm water, soapy water, never a hot dishwasher. That makes a lot of sense with that drying cycle. Another thing you can use is stainless steel. Okay, I already showed you the French press. I showed you the Keurig. I use a paint scraper. I do, instead of a spatula. Somebody showed me this a long time ago, and I haven't stopped using it. So I use cast iron. This is my little one. I have a little one, a medium-sized one, and a large one. And when I'm cooking on the stove, I like a paint scraper. And as I'm cooking and scooping, I just love this. It's the best hack I've ever had in cooking, is a paint scraper. If you don't want to use a paint scraper, if you have to scoop big stuff, exchange your plastic spatulas and either use stainless steel or bamboo. Okay, this is my bamboo spatula. It gets a lot of use. Okay, another thing you can do, stainless steel, ceramic plates and bowls, wooden or bamboo cutting boards. I used to have those plastic translucent type cutting boards. I threw them out. Probably shouldn't have thrown them out. They're probably in the landfill now, and they messed up the environment, but I don't cut on them anymore. I bought my cutting board. I should have brought one. It looks like this. It's bamboo. I have 4 different size cutting boards, and they're made out of bamboo. Wooden or bamboo cutting boards, stainless steel utensils. You know what makes me cringe when I go to someone's house, because I don't do it at my house, and it's a party. And of course I'm going to eat carnivore, but there's a plastic fork and a plastic food, and it's the plastic plate. And I cringe when it's all plastic. Nobody knows, right? But what are you going to do? I'm there once for an hour. I use the plastic. I do. But, in your own house, get rid of the plastic. Glass coffee makers, stainless steel filters. All right. When you buy your meat, if you can buy it from the butcher, all right, the butcher's going to wrap it in butcher paper. Right? I have several rolls of butcher paper. Very affordable. You get this where? Home Depot, Lowe's, in the grill section. They don't sell them in the grocery stores, at least not where I live. They're not that expensive. And I will take my meat. If I'm at Costco and I buy this gigantic steak that I have to cut into all the ribeyes, that's how I try to save money. Or we buy outside skirt steak, which is the most tender, amazing meat. If you've never had outside skirt steak, inside is very tough. The outside skirt steak is phenomenal. We get it, and it comes wrapped very densely. I take it all apart out of the plastic, can't help it. And then I wrap it up in butcher paper and put the date. It goes in my deep freezer. So invest in very affordable butcher paper. Start using it. instead of sandwich bags, plastic bags, Ziploc bags, all the bags that we use. Start trying to trade things out if you can. Let's see, glass pitchers for the fridge for water. I don't use plastic for my water. Stainless steel or glass water bottles. Here's another one I brought just for show and tell purposes. I know the top is plastic, but the water's not sitting in it. Here's a mason jar. Okay, I use this for my bone broth. The green screen doesn't like it because it's clear. I use this. I put my bone broth in here. It goes in the refrigerator. You know, all the fat comes to the top, and I scoop it off and use it for cooking and everything. I have all different sizes of mason jar. You got the metal lid and the glass jar. No, it's not touching. It's not, there's no plastic. And this is what you can use if you sous vide. I did a video this morning about sous vide cooking and using plastic bags. What you do is you put the steak in here, you let the air come out as it sinks, and you cook the steak in the sous vide in glass. I haven't tried it yet, but you can. And under the sink, whole house water filters means less bottled water. Now in the bathroom, you can exchange your soap with, I'll put this right up in the camera so you can see it, natural tallow soap. I got this from somebody called Farm Stand Girl. All right. And I don't like the scented. I got the non-scented. I love it. I love this soap. This soap is all I use on my hair, on my beard, you know, my white beard, my body, everything. I don't use shampoo. I don't use conditioner. I don't use regular soap at all. And that's another thing you can change. Let's see, wood dryer balls instead of plastic sheets. Glass spray bottles for cleaners instead of plastic. Baking soda and vinegar to clean. Castile soap for cleaning. Here's something that I put on my face. I made this. Okay, this is beef tallow that I actually had oxtail in the crock pot. And once I got all my oxtail, I've been cooking for about, I don't know, 8 or 10 hours. You know, I took it all apart, took the meat out, and then I put it into like all the juice in here, and I let it solidify to the top, and I collected all the beef tallow. Okay, there's the beef tallow. Now, what I did is I put it in a pan and I render it one more time. Put it through a sieve, get all the debris out. I let it solidify in the refrigerator, and then I heat it again one more time. So it's like 3 times. And the more you render fat, the more malleable and creamy like it is. And so what I do every day is I take a dollop of this, see it? And I put it in my hand, all over my head, all in my beard, on my tattoos. And I'm telling you, your body recognizes beef tallow and accepts it and likes it because it's very similar to the sebum in your own skin. All right, there's no chemicals, there's no phthalates, there's no bisphenols, there's no fragrance. It barely smells like anything because I rendered it 3 times. It's wonderful. If you don't care for the scent, it actually fades for a while. If you do care, you can add a drop or 2 of essential oils that have a scent. I don't want to do that. I tried that. And then when I rubbed it on, I didn't like it. So, all right, let's see what else. I'm going to read a little bit more, and then I'll get back to the message, to the comments. Beeswax wraps instead of plastic wrap. Parchment paper instead of plastic bags. That's another thing you can do, is parchment paper. I didn't bring some of that with me. And you want to get the non-bleached parchment paper. Silicone only if unavoidable. Wood, metal, glass furniture over plastic. Natural fiber rugs like wool or cotton. Avoid air fresheners and scented plastic products. And for me, that's a no-brainer because I get an instant headache if there's an air freshener in a room. When I go to someone's house and they have one of those plug-ins, it doesn't take long, maybe 10 or 15 minutes, and I'm in the house and I get a mild headache. Never fails. I don't know what it is with my head, but my body does not like unnatural scents. Someone has really strong cologne or perfume and I'm around them long enough, I get a headache. It's really weird. So my body's telling me not to use air fresheners, and I don't. I really don't. So you can't get to zero plastic at all, but you can take steps in your house, in your life, in your bathroom, in your kitchen, in your car, everywhere you can, to just be conscious and say, what can I switch out? Okay. Clothing. All right. Instead of polyester, nylon, rayon, any of the other names for synthetic fibers, get cotton. 100% cotton is this shirt. I also started buying online because I can't find them in the stores. Linen. Beautiful, lightweight, all these options, pretty affordable. You can spend a little money and buy bamboo, yes, clothing, silk, wool. There's so many natural fibers that we used to wear for thousands and thousands of years before polyester. All right, let's go back to the comments here. Let's see where I am. Kimmy Hicks. I use a stainless steel filter that sits on my coffee mug, so I'm glad. I'm good. Good for you. All right. Steven says, what are good storage strategies for leftovers and reheating? I would say the little glass dishes. These are not expensive. I went to Walmart one day and just filled my basket with there was a pack of 7 of these, 8 of the middle-sized ones, 5 of the bigger ones. Wasn't that expensive. Instead of Tupperware. And then you reheat them using those. Easy, change, not expensive. All right, Rick. Buffalont. Hi, John. I am Anthony. Is storing food in foil bad? All right, Anthony, good question. And thank you for that question. Aluminum foil, when it touches food that's hot, not good. Aluminum is linked to brain problems, especially in young children and older adults. Alzheimer's, it's affected. They're finding aluminum. Aluminum is toxic. You don't want it in your body. Now, if it's something cold and chilled, I think you can put something in aluminum. I don't even go there because I don't like it anymore. So whenever I see something cooked in aluminum, I cringe again. And people don't know that gets into the food. Now, one thing that is true about plastic and aluminum is if it's hot and it has animal fat, it absorbs whatever's in the plastic or the aluminum. The fat's like a sponge, and then you eat the fat, and it gets into your body. So, yes, aluminum, I avoid it. Do I have aluminum foil in the house? And what do I use it for? I have aluminum foil. I'm trying to think of what I use it for. I don't use it for food anymore. I think it's just for covering something and making sure the food doesn't touch it and making sure the food is cold. Good question. All right, JV, I donate blood every 3 months to reduce forever chemicals in my body. Oh, wow, really? I'm going to have to check that out. They did a firefighter study and it greatly reduces forever chemicals. I'm sure plastic has forever. Yeah, plastic kind of has forever chemicals. These are chemicals that never leave the body, apparently. And again, for all of millennia, we had no forever chemicals that stayed in our body until the modern industrial era like now, unfortunately. So I'm going to check that out. I haven't donated blood in about a year. It's healthy to do that. If you're healthy, you're helping other people. It's good for your body to make more blood. Some people have to do it because they have hemochromatosis. I have a relative that must donate blood to stay healthy. That's kind of rare, but it makes sense. So I will check that out, JV. That's if it does that, that's my reason to donate blood every 3 or 4 months for sure. Many black plastic cooking utensils are made from recycled computers. Oh, that's disgusting. As I look at my computer, that's all plastic. Jeez, everything's plastic. Thank you, Stephen. Kimmy, hit like so more see this. Yes, there's a thing called an algorithm, and YouTube uses the algorithm of thumbs up. So smash the like button, and it suggests it to more people, even if it's just in the replay. JB says, since I eat clean now, I just use the cold pressed coconut oil for deodorant and no smell whatsoever. Yeah, that works. Coconut, I love coconut oil, even though it's not an animal product. It's mostly saturated, has a nice odor or neutral scent. I used to use it on my head and beard, but it clogs your pores, coconut oil. Whereas beef tallow does not clog your pores. Go figure. And I think it's because it's more like the sebum of your skin. But coconut oil is pretty amazing. Yeah, you can rub it under your armpits instead of deodorant or antiperspirant. I stopped all antiperspirant, by the way. Terrible chemicals in that. Aluminum is the big one in antiperspirants. Anthony brought that up. So you don't want to rub that right into your pores with antiperspirants. Switch to a deodorant and then look for deodorants and read the ingredients like you read food ingredients, and read the deodorant ingredients and see that they have no phthalates and no bisphenols and no, some of the other chemicals that are not healthy. I know we're talking about plastics here. And what's the weird thing is, what is the deodorant housed in? Plastic. Everything is contained in plastic. We cannot get away from it, unfortunately, but we can minimize it. All right, let's see. Where are we? Dryer sheets are the worst. I stopped. Throw them out. Do not use them. They are more than toxic. And do you know that store that used to be open and they closed their doors and went out of business? Bed Bath & Beyond. You ever gone into a Bed Bath & Beyond store when they were open? They use dryer sheets to fragrance the air. I used to walk in there and I had to walk right out. I would get an instant headache from the dryer sheet smell. Disgusting. Don't do it. Gets into your clothes. The clothes touch your skin. Bingo. I do much the same as you mentioned. Miguel. Javier up. Javier up. All right. Fuzzy Booger. Do we have studies covering all this? Teacher. There are always studies that we can find. I don't have them right now to give you. It's interesting that you say, where are the studies? In my YouTube channel, every video that I post at least 3 sources of where I get my information. I do the research. I write the scripts. And then, yes, I do use ChatGPT to fix my spelling and make it more fluent. And that's the script I read, but it's me. I wrote it. I'm using ChatGPT like a calculator or like a spell checker, and it refines the wording so I'm a little more fluent sounding when I read. And I have sources that I post. I don't have sources for this talk tonight, but you can find them easily. Just Google how plastics affect the human body by way of our hormones. It's they're endocrine disruptors. They absolutely are phytoestrogenic. They are. All right, linen bed sheets last forever and just not as smooth. I haven't tried linen bed sheets. I have all cotton. I don't know where to find them, to be honest with you. That's the other tricky part when we're trying to minimize our plastic exposure, is finding these alternatives on the market. If you can find them, they're expensive because they're not, supply and demand. They're not in demand, and they're going to charge you because they're very rare. All right, Thomas Boyd, inside air quality is an issue most people don't understand. Thomas has 2 air purifiers in his house. My wife thought I was nuts. Now she rarely gets sick. That's why I can't wait to open my windows tomorrow. I don't like having the windows closed and the air conditioning on for many, many, many days, because you're recycling the air, right? And you know what? The air is going through an air filter in the air conditioner. And guess what that air filter has in it? Polyester type fibers. It's not all natural fibers, and they do sell air filters with natural fibers, but guess what? You're going to pay through the nose for those. So, what do? You decide if you want to invest in it or just pretend it's not there, that air filter. But you're still breathing that air that goes through that filter. The nanoparticles are getting in the air. You're breathing it in. It's kind of depressing. But getting a filtration, getting an air filter purifying system in your house, if your windows are closed, excellent idea. Excellent idea. If you have pets, the dander, the dust, all that stuff gets trapped, and you clean that filter out. Yeah, Kimmy, 100% cotton. I love cotton. I threw out all my workout clothes, all my gym shorts and cut off t-shirts and everything that I used to go to the gym with were all polyester. They were all like real lightweight. You thought you were airy, and it was refreshing. And did I realize that I was pressing polyester all over my skin and sweating, right? So I threw all those out. And I went to the store and I bought a whole bunch of shorts that were 100% cotton, tank tops that were all 100% cotton, and so on. And I had to spend a little bit of money, right? But you do it gradually. If you're going to go shopping for clothes, that's when you start reading the labels. You don't have to throw everything out and replace your entire wardrobe. But as you need it, why not? Why not? And it was a little bit of a learning curve for me. I had to take my reading glasses into Kohl's or wherever I was buying stuff if I went to a store, and I had to find the part of the shirt that has the tag, usually on the side under here. It's not over here. It's usually over here. And you have to read the tiny print to see if you can find 100% cotton or linen or whatever. And very few shirts and pants in the men's section, at least. I don't know about women, ladies, but it's all polyester, rayon, nylon, other names for polyester, right? Until I can find 100% cotton. And then I'm like, great, I got one, right? And I put that in the basket. I walk out of the store with one because I couldn't find any. So I'm shopping online more so I can read what the shirts and the clothes are made of. All right. Earned, not given soccer. Hey, hope all is well. When will your video on healing autoimmune issues come out? Specifically alopecia. Also thoughts on toxic mold in the house, ways to test or prevent. I'm going to forget this, so I'm going to take a screenshot of it right now and add it to my list of videos to make because I will not remember. And I have in my section on my phone, in my notes, I go to my notes, I have a video ideas. And that's where I type in all my ideas or I say them. When it's time to make some new videos here in my studio, I go to my topics, I do some research, and I make my videos. So earned, not given soccer, it's going to be a while because I put my videos out about 7 days in advance, and I have a whole bunch all lined up. So you can look for it in about 15 days or so. I will make it. I promise you, because I just took a picture of the topic. All right. Rick says, oh my God, I use aluminum foil on my smoker all the time. So did I. I have a Traeger grill. I use the pellets. We smoke picanha. We smoke prime rib, standing rib roast. We smoke beef ribs. And all I did was swap it out with this. You need this and a stapler. You take a stapler, you wrap the ribs or whatever up, and you staple the edges if you're doing that, or you don't have to staple it, you just wrap it and fold it, and use butcher paper. It's great for heat. You don't want to go extremely hot, like 500 degrees, but when I smoke meats on my Traeger grill, I start at 180 and go up to 220, 230, 240, never higher. And this butcher paper is rated for higher than that. So I highly recommend the butcher paper for smoking. For mold, JV says, in my house, use air purifiers, bedroom and living room. Yeah, that's another thing we have an issue with here in South Florida. Constant humidity. I have, when the central air conditioning is on, it not only cools the house but it dehumidifies the air, which makes it harder for mold to grow. But we live in South Florida. It is always, even today, for example, the humidity is ridiculous. 70, 80, 90% humidity during the day in the summer. In the winter, it's usually down around 50 or 40%, which is high for like Arizona and everything else, right? So I bought another dehumidifier, a portable one that handles a large room, and it's always running, and I'm always emptying that bucket. And the pipe going out of my house for the central air conditioning is also dripping all that water. So I have a humidistat. I can see what the humidity is in my house, and I try to keep the humidity below or at 50%, and the mold doesn't grow. But you go up higher, closer to 60%, and you're going to have mold growing. So the filters can help with that, but you want to dehumidify if you can, and that also helps mold not to even grow. But thanks for bringing that up, JV. Buffalaunt, I think they pay you a lot for plasma. I don't get paid when I donate blood, but they give me free movie tickets, or they give me something from the big red bus, that comes in the parking lot where I donate blood, but I never got cash. That might make me donate more too, right? All right, JV says, I'm afraid to do plasma. They take my blood into a machine and return the plastic tubes. No idea what's going on inside. Yeah, I know. And where's the blood? The blood's inside the plastic container. Everything's plastic. A lot of medical supplies, medical tubing, medical everything. Syringe, it's all plastic. Pretty scary. I wonder if it's going to be the ruin of our society. And how did the Romans die? Wasn't it lead poisoning, and they didn't know they had lead? I wonder if plastic's going to be our downfall. My wife is made of plastic. Fuzzy Pooker, you just made me laugh today. That is hilarious. Take my wife. Okay, JV. All right, Miguel Javier. Yep. John, did you mention any supplements you think you need? All right, not related to plastics. Supplements is another topic, and you know what? Supplements will be maybe next Monday night. I'm going to talk about supplements. I've done many videos on supplements. If you want to Google them in YouTube, or do the search for Carnivore Teacher supplements. I think I made 3 videos. But just real quick, in relation to plastic, but of course the supplement comes in plastic bottles, right? Everybody's supplements are different. If you're eating a carnivore diet, you don't need supplements unless everybody's individual. Everything is individualistic. You may not get enough sunlight, so you need extra vitamin D. And then when you take vitamin D, you want to take vitamin K2, so calcium goes into the right place. And it's very important that you get enough vitamin D. So that's a great supplement. How to do it? You want to get the vitamin D that's in lanolin or MCT oil. You don't want it in soybean oil. You don't want it in olive oil. I supplement with minerals. I supplement with Redmond, Relight, magnesium, potassium, sodium. I supplement with iodine sometimes. Now, I eat a lot of shrimp, wild-caught shrimp, and sockeye salmon, cod that's wild-caught, and cod liver in cans, BPA-free cans. So I'm getting plenty of iodine, but if a couple days go by and I've noticed I haven't had any seafood, I have iodine drops that come from sea kelp. I put 3 or 4 drops in my eggs. You don't even taste it. What else do I supplement with? Magnesium. Most human beings are low on magnesium. And that is because the soil is now depleted. So when the cows ate the grass, the cows aren't getting enough magnesium. When the cow is harvested for its meat and you eat the meat, you're not getting as much magnesium as our ancestors got because of the soil. So supplementing with magnesium, I think everybody can benefit from that. Magnesium is bound to an amino acid or something else. So It acts to magnesium glycinate. It's bound to glycine. Magnesium threonate. It's bound to threonine. These are amino acids. Magnesium citrate, magnesium oxide, which is pretty not so good. Just you want to get magnesium. Some people supplement with potassium a little bit because they get cramps. I have that in my minerals that I sprinkle in my drinking water. That's it. I will not supplement with vitamin C. I don't want it to turn into oxalate. I'm getting enough from my meat and no sugar. And I don't want this to go into the supplement topic. So I just wanted to answer your question. We'll talk all about this next week. I'll make next week about supplements. And you're welcome, Fuzzy Booger. All right, JV, for research, I don't trust Google that much. I search YouTube for a well-known holistic doctor. You have to be careful nowadays. I don't know if you've seen this, but I will see something come up on Facebook or on some other social media site. And with AI, everything is so realistic and you believe your eyes. You're seeing these videos and they're fake. A lot of them are fake. And then if you read an article, a lot of them are over 50% false. You can't trust what you read anymore. You can't trust what you see anymore. So you have to check multiple sources when it comes to your news, when it comes to the videos you watch. It's pretty scary. I see some amazing videos. I'm like, that has to be fake. It can't be real. So yeah, Google, who knows? I can't trust it. And let's talk Chat GPT too and other AI. What's the other one? Gemini, some of the other ones. Dr. Ken Berry put it beautifully. I think he said it. ChatGPT, AI, fantastic. It's like a genius who's in third grade. A third grade genius. You have to double check. You have to read everything. Don't trust it because it gets wrong a lot. I've even said, you're wrong on this. And then it says, I'm sorry, you're right. I was wrong. I'm like, well, you're not a very useful tool for me when it comes to a lot of things. So be careful, folks. Trust your gut instinct and check multiple sources to validate whether something is true or not. JV, a good clean body can detox until it gets overburdened. That is the key, JV. Your body can do it all. You have a liver, you have kidneys, you have all these detox systems. If you're not overburdening your body with plant toxins and smoking and alcohol drinking and pollution, stress and lack of sleep, lack of sunlight, lack of grounding. If you get rid of all the bad stuff, your body is like a superhuman body. It can detox all this stuff. I don't know about the forever chemicals, but we have an amazing ability to heal and get better if we just get out of our own way. And to do that, you need knowledge, and that's where the internet and YouTube can be wonderful. That's a darn Pandora's box, though. Got to be careful. Rick says, what about laundry detergent? That's good, Rick. Read your laundry detergent. Free and clear is better than the scented, colorful stuff. They all come in plastic containers, so I don't know about that. And some people will tell you homemade laundry detergents that you can make yourself with baking soda and water and stuff. I haven't gone that far yet, but I do buy the fragrance-free, the clear, the stuff that says clear on it. And I don't use as much as they tell you. It's so hard to get away from all this, right? All right, Fuzzy Booger, kudos for teacher with training props. Oh, yeah. I took a bag. What haven't I shown you yet? I think I showed you everything. Oh, here's dental floss. Did I show you the dental floss? Dental floss, especially the waxed kind, you're getting that right up into your gums and your teeth, and it is shedding plastics right into your teeth. We talked about a toothbrush, right? So I bought this stuff. I'm going to get real close to the camera, see if you can read it. I don't know if you can read it. There it is. Bamboo. Can you see it? A little fuzzy. Bamboo floss. It's dark in color. And I use this stuff to floss my teeth with. which I do floss at least once a day to stimulate the gums. I use a water pick, to be honest with you, which is made out of plastic. I can't get away from that. But I fill it up with water. And I always, after every meal, I am water picking my teeth because I have a lot of dental work. And I like that. And then once a day, I stimulate my gums with bamboo floss. So I switched my dental floss. I bought this online. I got like 20 of these things. And then I could take the top off and they give you refills. This is the bamboo floss. It looks like needle and thread, like thread. So I made that change. Did I do all these things overnight? No. Little by little by little. I read about something about toothbrushes and dental floss, and I'm like, oh my gosh, I need to make a change. I started Googling. I found a company, took my credit card out. I bought a bunch of dental floss. It didn't even cost me that much. It's going to last me years. You should see how much I bought. I think I bought too much, but I'm good on dental floss. All right. Rick says, cool. I have a roll of pink butcher paper I use for wrapping roast up, but we'll use it instead of aluminum foil. Yeah, good. I don't know about, I wonder if pink, I wonder if the color means anything. Medical grade plastic better. I don't know, Fuzzy Booger. I don't know. I think if it says it, you might want to read up on that and see if it leaches fewer bisphenols and phthalates. If it says medical grade, maybe it's healthier. I don't know. I really don't. You have a live now? Yes, Rick. Every Monday night, I decided to go on live. And it started because of the new food pyramid. There were so many people that wanted me to talk about it. So I decided to go live on Monday night just by myself. I know I go on Carnivore Sunday School with other people, but I figured I would do this, prepare, the way I used to years ago. So I'm so glad you're here. Thank you for coming, my friend. I was just telling our audience how damn hot it is here. Everybody's freezing and we're 85 degrees and humid, right? Rick's in Miami and I'm a little further north in Boca and it's like summertime. It's so weird. The rest of the country's freezing. Rick, what a man. I love this guy. Got to meet him in person at Hack Your Health. We ate lunch together, spent some time. He's tall. Man, you're tall, Rick. You always told me you were, but until I saw you in person and I looked up at you, you are the envy of many people. Many people want height. I know I did. Good observation on fake videos and contents. Miguel, yeah. All right, there's Rick again. Make your own detergent. That is what I do. Rick, fantastic. If you could type a short sentence or two, what your ingredients are for the detergent, that would be great. Rick makes his own everything. You should see this guy. Amazing. Charge a Mopar. He's the duck man. All right, JV, you mentioned grounding. I feel it helps me detox. A grounding sheet for the bed is a good investment. Grounding is another topic I might cover on a Monday night. Our body is an electrical system. Our spinal cord, our nervous system, we have electricity in us. And when you, just like a house is grounded, there's a grounding stake in case it gets hit by lightning, everything goes into the ground in the stake. Instead of the house shorting out and catching on fire. If you go stand in your bare feet on the ground, in the grass, on the dirt, on the sand, on the ocean, on the beach, you're grounding your own electrical system. It lowers blood pressure. You'll feel, I feel it. I go out and ground all the time because I live in South Florida. It's hot. I'm always bare feet. My feet are filthy, by the way, because I'm always grounding. But it just, you feel relaxed. You can feel the stress leaving your body. And if it helps you detox as well, hey, think about nature. Think about human beings. Before shoes, we walked in our bare feet more. I have really thick calluses. Yay, my two Rick friends. All right, let's see. We're getting to the top of the hour here. I used to get washed soda at the store till they stopped selling it. Oh, wow. I don't even know what that is, Rick. And hey, look who's here from New Jersey. What's the temperature up there, Thomas? Freezing, I know, because my relatives live in Pennsylvania, and so I know it's pretty nasty up there. Oh, my friends are on my live every Monday night. If you want to come, Rick and Thomas, that would be fantastic. I appreciate that. So I'm at the top of the hour here. Perfect. Oh, there's more here. Okay, let's see. Let me run through them real fast. Floss made from duck feathers. Is that a joke or is that true? I don't know. That's a new one on me. Bamboo toothbrush is wonderful. I think they wear out fast though, but yeah, you can get them. I need to make a video on duck. Yeah, you should, Rick. I want to see that video on making dental floss with duck feathers. It kind of makes sense. Everything from the duck, right? Rick is on live at 8 on Saturdays. All right. If you guys want to go there, his name is Charger Mopar, Rick. And he is not like me. Joined us. I have all these cool things that I brought to show people. And where did I get the idea to do that? From you, my man. Because you do that all the time. I think you just came on. I'm showing my beef tallow that I made. I'm showing my stainless steel and my everything. I got that all from Rick, guys. So if you go to his channel, you're going to be in for a treat. You're going to see his cat, named after a previous hurricane that we had, Milton. And he is just amazing. You'll be hooked if you go to his channel. He's a really cool guy. All right. Nice. Can't wait to meet Rick. Yep, Thomas. Kimmy Hicks, almost 2 feet of snow here, and it's still snowing. I heard. Yes, Rick from Miami is the tallest carnivore that I know. He's taller than Dr. Sean Baker. We saw them side by side at Hack Your Health. He's taller. And all right, so he uses for detergent wood ashes, washing soda, lard or tallow for laundry soap. But yeah, I don't know what the mixture is, but good for you. You know, he's not using the chemical crap that we buy in a plastic bottle. JB, I'm grounded right now. I have a grounding pad on the back of my chair. My only thing about the grounding sheets that concern me is I live in the lightning capital state of the country, as Rick knows. We get struck by the house across the street from me got struck by lightning a few years ago, literally, and ruined the inside beam of his attic. And he had to have his entire roof replaced. And boy, did we feel it across the street here. I mean, it was like an earthquake. Lightning strikes all over the place. So if I were to take the grounding tab and plug it into that third prong in the outlet, which is what you do with a grounding sheet, I don't know. I don't want to get struck by lightning while I'm sleeping. I guess I could get a grounding sheet and just not plug it in when I know there's a storm. But most people don't think about that. I have to get through these comments, guys. I'm going to go real quick. Barefoot is risky here with the broken glass, duck poop, and thorns. And don't forget those wonderful fire ants, Rick. Hi from Maine. Dr. Kiltz has a Zoom call at 5:30 to 7. All right. Is he on there now? Feels like 1 degree here. Ouch. I actually use duck feathers to floss my teeth. Show and tell. Exactly. I got to get through all these and then say goodbye. Bacon runner in Maine from New Hampshire next door. Oh, really? Oh, okay. Look at that. Maine. Talk about cold. 20 degrees in New Jersey. Oh, my God, Thomas. Hey, neighbor. Yes, my bacon runner. You're the guy from Miami. You told me you're Miami. Rick, the guy who we're just talking about, Charger Mopar. He's Miami. You guys should meet up. Lightning hit my antenna over 20 years ago. There you go. See? And I think the lightning capital city of the whole country is Tampa. Tampa gets more lightning strikes than we do here on the east coast of Florida. Last one, JV, I ran my grounding wire outside of the house to a rod in the ground. I agree on the lightning. Oh, okay. Well, you really invested in that grounding sheet. If you bought the sheet, put it in, ran a wire outside, rod in the ground, right? Good for you. All right, ladies and gentlemen, this was our Monday Night Live. The topic was plastic, how to get it out of our lives. We can't be perfect, but we can be conscious of it. And we can make little incremental changes. I know it's expensive, but we can do it little by little and improve our lives by getting as much plastic out that we can. We can't get it all out because it's everywhere. It's in dust. What are you going to do, right? But you can be conscious of it. Thank you for joining me. And let's see what's next. The next live is Carnivore Sunday School next Sunday. And then next Monday, I'll be back on here. And then I do put my teaching videos out every single day. Check it out. I put one out every morning at 6 a.m. Eastern time. And you're welcome to watch that. I also wrote 2 books that are in the show notes. One is called Amazon. It's on Amazon. It's called The Carnivore Teacher. And the other one is called Process to Death. And I also recorded them with my microphone here in my own voice. So you can buy the Audible of the 2 books. And if you're a person who doesn't read and you like to listen with your earbuds in or whatever on the go. So I invite you to do that. Thank you for coming. I'm going to sign off now. Have a wonderful evening. If you're in a cold area, stay warm, stay safe, and see you next time. Thanks for coming. Oops, I have to do the end stream. Hold on. There we go. See you later.